Today we're going to be talking about Evergreen emails. These are emails that you can send at any time to pretty much anyone on your list, and they're going to drive sales and have really high engagement. And so we'll go over exactly why there's a strategic benefit to sending these Evergreen emails and providing continuous value to your audience, and in a way that makes it unnecessary to have to resort to frequent sales and promotions, which can just diminish your brand over time. If you think about it this way, it's like if you are sending 25% off as your main campaign, you're sending 25% off, then 20% off, and 30% off, and 25% off, and most of your campaigns are just flash sales, which I see a lot. The issue with that is that you're conditioning your audience to not purchase unless they have that discount. It makes having a discount a prerequisite to their purchase decision with you, and obviously this isn't good. So what I see a lot of people fall into the trap of is they will, they'll work with an agency. The agency's sending out campaigns, and they're sending out a weekly campaign that 25% off, maybe 2 of them a week, and each of them are generating sales. They're generating a lot of sales actually, and they're happy with them because all this new money's coming in. But what they don't realize is that that's just short term. What the long-term effects of that are doing is it's conditioning all of your buyers to not buy without a discount, and it is making it so their baseline is to have a big discount. And so in a year or 6 months or 8 months, when you send a 20% off campaign, that's going to essentially be baseline. So that's going to be the same as if someone else just sent a normal campaign with nothing, with no offer. And so now you're going to have to send a 30% off to generate sales. Nothing under 30 will get sales. And so you see how this compounds over time and makes it very, very difficult to grow if you're doing this strategy. So I'm going to show you exactly how you can avoid that, how you can generate sales between events. So between, holidays where usually things slow down, I'm going to show you how you can generate a lot of sales in that period of time, and doing it in a way that increases engagement and authority and keeps you top of mind for the customer. The reason this is so important, obviously, is not everyone in the market is willing to buy today, but when they are willing to buy, you want to make sure that you're their number one choice. And so the way you do that is to establish that number one spot, that authority, before they've even made the decision that they need to purchase something to solve their problem. And so it may seem like, it's a waste because it's not generating a ton of sales. It's not generating as many sales as our promotional emails. And it's like, it's not supposed to. It's just supposed to generate some sales for sure, but more importantly than that, increase engagement and trust with your brand so that when they are ready to buy, they buy from you. We're going to do it in a way that cuts through the noise and is entertaining for the customers. We don't want to bore them. You don't want to just spam them with content. You want to make the content relevant to them, their motivations, their fears, their needs, their desires, their pains. And you want to do it without relying on discounts, without relying on holidays for sales, without offer or message fatigue. Like I said, 20% is going to become your baseline if you're sending 20% all the time. It's just the reality of it. So in short, the Evergreen emails are just about providing consistent, valuable content that pays off in the long term more than any single short-term strategy ever could. And you're going to end up standing out in the crowd like this red guy. So essentially, we're going to go through some examples here. First 5 are going to be text-based examples. Obviously, this isn't the full email. This is just the starting point, give you an idea, give you a structure. And as you'll see, each of these text-based emails are going to have an angle and a framework. And so that's the 1-2 in order to make these emails. You need to have an angle. The angle is going to be the one thing you're focusing on. Not the two things, not the one thing you're focusing on. In this case, you're focusing on the product. And then the framework is what structure do you want to have in order to convey the information. The reason we have a structure is because without it, you're just rambling. And we don't want to do that. What we want to do is have a structure, have the information be conveyed in a way that's easy to follow, that is easily digestible, and that's the way that you're going to end up reaching and resonating with your readers. So this one, attention, interest, desire, action. So you want to grab their attention, pique their interest, show them why they should desire it, and push them towards an action. Second one here, you'll see, instead of focusing on a product, we're focusing in on a specific ingredient. Instead of the AIDA, we're using the PAS framework. So problem, agitate, solution. So say you're a supplement brand, you're doing $50K a month and you want to generate some more sales. And you have this supplement that's an energy boosting supplement that has some ashwagandha in it for its energy boosting effects. And you want to talk about how, you want to talk about the ingredient of ashwagandha and how it boosts energy. So what you would do with that idea in this framework is identify the problem. Mention, common health issue, feeling tired in the afternoon, waking up, more tired than you went to sleep, not being able to make it throughout the day without 4 coffees. Those are common issues. And then you want to agitate, you want to push at that pain. You want to talk about how being tired all day just ruins your day. And if you have a couple bad days, it ruins your week, and it can end up ruining your life long term. And then you want to introduce the solution of like, hey, you have that issue. It's a pretty bad issue, but we have this supplement that has some ashwagandha in it. These are the benefits of ashwagandha. It's energy boosting. It boosts your motivation, all those sorts of things, and introduce your product as the solution. They might not buy now, but when they in a couple weeks, when they're not getting very good sleep, and they're like, man, I just wish I could have some energy back, they're gonna go, oh, what was that? Ashwagandha? Oh yeah, I remember that brand. And they're going to look you up, and then they're going to purchase, and it's coming from this email. This email is the seed. I like calling these evergreen emails because they start off as these seeds that you're planting, and they end up sprouting into these evergreen trees that will stay all year round. So the third example here, the team angle. So we're going to talk about someone on our team. That's what we're going to focus on. And the framework is the 3S, the story, solve, sell framework. So story, solve, sell. You want to tell a quick story about someone from your team who's healthy, loves staying fit, and how being fit has impacted their life. Maybe they weren't before and now they are, and here's all the great things about it. Explain how your product helped them achieve that success, helped them achieve that transformation. And then suggesting that, your product was the right thing for them. You're in a similar situation as them. They're on our team. We've seen their success firsthand. It could be just like you. Number 4, success story angle with the pastor framework. Problem amplifies story, solution, transformation, testimony, offer, and response. So success story as the idea, and then this to structure it. So, highlighting common health issues, talking about the ashwagandha supplement again. And then, talking about, the negative impacts that this low energy can have on a day-to-day basis. Talk about a success story of someone who overcame it by, incorporating the ashwagandha into their routine, and focus on how, they they had this dramatic change once they started implementing your solution, and it solved their problem, and giving, a bunch of have a couple reviews of people saying the same thing, and then being like, hey, if you want to be like these people, you definitely can. Here's how. Use our stuff. And then this one, you can add to a lot of different emails. You can even make like a full email about it, of just like encouraging people to respond with questions or pain points they want solved. So respond to this email with a question, or like curious, like what are you struggling with most right now? You end up getting a lot of valuable information from that you can then use to your advantage when making other emails. It's never a bad idea to have more zero-party data about your consumers. Never a bad idea. And then the last one I'll show you here for the text-based ones is product angle with the PWAT framework. Problem, why, action, trust. So, identify a health issue. Talk about why your product is the solution. Try to get them to buy, and then talk about the success stories. So a lot of these end up having similar elements to them, but because you are singling in onto a very specific topic, you're talking about one thing, and you're using different frameworks, you end up having like very, very drastically different emails, even if they are essentially saying very similar things, which is great because you're able to convey the same information in a different way, and this is going to end up ingraining that information into your subscribers and really helping them get a better understanding of your products and what they do and what they can expect from them. And so that's always really good. So a couple of design emails here. We got the frequently asked questions email. This one's from Disco. So essentially it's just saying like, see the full FAQ. And then it has a couple examples here. What I really love about the frequently asked questions email is that you're able to overcome objections before they are objections. So what I mean by that is, take a look at this one. I'm new to this whole skincare thing. What kit is best for me? So this objection is, I don't know what to buy. I don't know what is right for me. So then they recommend, get this pack or get this kit, has these things, everything you need. In what order should I use the products? So the objection is, it's too complicated. I don't know how to use it. Well, here's how you use it. Very simple. Objection. How do you come up with your product formulations? See, that's not necessarily an objection. That's just a question. But the underlying objection is, I don't trust you. I don't trust your products. I don't know what's in it. How can I trust you? And so they say, well, it's a result of meticulous year-long process. We've had our doctor, our medical advisor, doctor. We've had our team of renowned cosmetic chemists. Why should you trust us? Because we've been doing this for a year with doctors, with chemists, very high status, high authority people are behind the product. That's why you should trust it. And it ends up working really, really well. And the third one is the myth email. So this one is from the Tallowed Truth. They do beef tallow skincare. So, when they think of beef fat, they think of, steak. Isn't the fatty stuff what gives you skin issues? No, it's not the thing that gives you skin issues. It's actually the thing that helps with your skin issues. And so being able to take a common myth or misconception about your industry, your products, an ingredient, your brand specifically, anything like that, and flipping it on its head, and then putting in, a bunch of reviews and testimonials, really does a lot, because you're either going to have people that thought like this and they've had a belief flipped, which is great because that now you're the authority, now you're the person they look for information, or they already knew this and they're reading this and going, oh yeah, some people think that. Oh, I'm not like that. I think that, I know that it's great for me. And then they'll see the testimonials and the success stories, and they'll do the selling themselves because they were like, oh yeah, I already knew that. And so a lot of times we don't need to be taught, we need to be reminded. And so reminding your potential customers about your product and about the benefits and about why it works and why it is the right solution for them. You want to remind them as much as possible, but you want to do it in ways like this that there's still value to it. You're saying, here's something that people believe, here's why it's not true. Look at all the benefits. So that's a great example. And then a couple design tips. One, I see this all the time. People use really, really small text. You can't see it when you open it on your phone. Like, you got to squint. And even then, I have good eyesight. I have 20/20 eyesight. And, I can't read a lot of them because they're just so small. So make sure you fix that. You're editing the email on a 27-inch monitor and someone's opening up on their phone that's in their hand. So you got to make sure your text is really big and can be easily seen. What I like to do is when I'm editing it on the computer, I'll zoom it out all the way so I can see the entire email, and then I'll look for headers and CTAs and see if I can identify where they are without while seeing the entire email at once. And that's just the test of okay, do these things actually jump out at you? And if the answer is no, change it. Second tip is to use soft pastel colors, lighter colors. They're a lot easier on the eyes, and if your email design is hard on the eyes, people aren't going to want to read it. They're not going to want to look at it. They're going to click off. So don't do that. Number 3, use one CTA above the fold. I don't know why more people still don't do this. I couldn't tell you, but I see so many emails where there's no CTA above the fold at all, and they're forcing their customers to scroll before they click. And people don't want to do that. People are lazy. They don't have an attention span. They could be doing anything else. And so you want to make sure that it's as easy as possible every time for your consumer to click. And so you also want to have one at the bottom of the email as well, so they don't have to scroll back up to click the one at the top. So by no means does this mean always only have 2 CTAs. If you have a really long email, you're going to probably have a couple more in there, potentially. But just keep in mind, the more CTAs you have, the less potent each CTA is. And so what I mean by that is if you have 2 CTAs, one at the top, one at the bottom, both of them are potent. As long as they are designed correctly, they will pop out, they will grab the attention. But if you have 10 CTAs hidden, or not hidden, but throughout the email, and people will see them and scroll past them, what are you conditioning them to do? You're conditioning them to scroll past your CTAs. It's not what we want to condition our customers to do. And so be sparing with them, put them in spots that make sense, and don't overuse them, but make sure you at least have 2. And then smooth transitions from section to section. Essentially, you don't want to have super angular sections for the most part, unless it's really essential to your brand to have really boxy designs. Usually you want to have more curved lines and not sharp angles, and the reason for this is just because it's easier on the eyes to see smooth transitions rather than really blocky transitions. The blocky transitions tend to look more like templates as well, and that's not the image you want to be portraying. If they see yours and they think that's a template, that's bad, and it's going to be detrimental to you. So make sure you're not doing that. But other than that, that is all for the day. Just to recap, with these emails, you have the idea, you have the framework. The idea is then structured through the framework, and that's why these work. You can mix and match any idea with any framework, and it will work perfectly. But you don't have to listen to me. I'm just a guy on YouTube, but you'd make a lot more money if you did. So, peace out.